What's up, Basketball Brain fans and members? I am in Taipei, over in Taiwan, visiting some friends, having a really great time, and I'm really getting anxious to post on all of my channels, especially Basketball Brain. I've missed you guys, so here we go. It's a mailbag. Let's start with the first question. This is from Jay, and he said, I just wanted to get some advice because my younger brother, who is nearly 13 years old, beats me one-on-one many times lately. I am 14 and I'm 17 months older than him. I'm really pissed off because I don't know what to do. I train way more than him every day. I play better in games and in practice. I pick up things faster, and I make way more shots. What can I do to beat him? Should I visualize myself beating him? Please help. I am extremely competitive. I need to start winning as soon as possible. With gratitude, Jay. Okay. Sibling rivalry. I love it. Now, if you talk to Michael Jordan, the reason that he was so good is because he battled with his brother in the backyard constantly. And once he could beat his brother, then he felt like he could beat anybody. Now, your brother's younger, so I'm sure you have an even added incentive to, destroy him. My brother and I had some battles one time. I'm not really proud of this, but he beat me. And, we were playing 2-on-2 in our backyard. And the guy guarding the other guy was just playing no defense. My friend was playing no defense, and the other guy scored so many points, and they started talking trash, so we had a grill, like a charcoal grill where you put steaks on. And I picked it up and I threw it at my brother, and it put this slice through his chest. I know it wasn't that deep. It could have been bad. So all I'm saying is I understand sibling rivalry. Of course, there's nobody I would want to succeed more than my brother. I know when you're playing him one-on-one, you want to destroy him, but I hope that when your brother plays or does anything, you're rooting him on. If there's any person I'd want to be better than me and succeed more than me, it would probably be my brother, So I hope you have that. There has to be that. When you're battling each other, you're not brothers if you can't really go to war. Now, to your specific question, one, I like the competitiveness. As you can see, I'm hyper-competitive. I'm not saying throwing grills at your brother is the thing to do, but when I lose, I tend to get furious. I don't understand people who you've put everything into a game, you lose a game, and then all of a sudden you're high-fiving and smiling. I think, personally, this is my personal opinion, shaking hands immediately after the game is sort of stupid. I don't think you should be able to cool down that fast if you put everything into it. I don't think it's disrespectful to say, I can't say good game right now. I need to relax. It's like somebody dumps you and you immediately have to be, oh, thank you so much. It was a great relationship. If you really put everything in, you got to be hyper competitive all the way through and through. Yes, so visualize yourself beating him. Number two is you need to start, him very well. Study his weaknesses. There's probably some things he doesn't do very well. Maybe he doesn't go to his left very well. Maybe there's certain spots on the court he doesn't shoot from very well. You have to find those things out. And then you have to look at your own game, and are you maybe trying too hard? Are you not letting your offense come to you? There's also the possibility you're just not a great one-on-one player. That doesn't mean you don't have great one-on-one moves in a game at all. I have some friends who are not very good at one-on-one, but when they get in the game, they can do the orchestra better. They can play the field better, but they're not great one-on-one players. I'm not saying that's you at all, but consider that. Just because you can beat somebody one-on-one doesn't mean you're a super great player. It is helpful to get very good at one-on-one because you can work on your moves. So yes, I would visualize him, I'd study his weaknesses, and I'd try to see what I was doing in one-on-one games that I'm not doing in pickup games. Because you say do good in pickup and practice, but you're not good on one-on-one. So try to find out what the difference is. Are you more of a catch-and-shoot guy in the games? Is that why you do better? If that's the case, you need to work on your ball handling and breaking them down. Lastly, look on this channel and study find the video where I talk about how to get better watching YouTube, and then find somebody like Kobe or Iverson or Kyrie and visualize with them, get into their body and start to download that program and go out and practice. Lastly, find players better than your brother, older than your brother, and go compete one-on-one with them. You guys are pretty close. 17 months, my brother and I were about the same. So age doesn't really mean that much here. So that's my advice for you. Thanks so much for the question. Let's go to the next one. This question is from, I think he's from Greece. I don't see a name. Anyways, I think it's Wardell. Hey, Basketball Brain team. I'm writing this email because I always find myself not scoring points in a game even though I'm capable of doing it. I mean, I don't take the risk even though I want to. Can you help me, please? Also, make a video on how to study a player. Definitely making more videos on how to study a player. As I said on my other channels, I'm going to be doing more in-depth breakdowns. So you have the capability to score, but you're not taking the risk. Well, guess what? One of my friends is a gambler. He plays poker professionally, and he has a saying. And his saying is, scared money don't make money. Scared money doesn't make money. A scared player can't score. You, I would assume, have wrapped up your self-worth too much in the game. So you need to have who you are as a person completely separate from how you perform in a game. Now, this doesn't mean going out there and being a ball hog. You know, some guys take it too far and they don't care what their teammates think or anything like that. What it does mean is that you need to be able to express yourself on the court freely. You need to go out there and recognize that even if you play bad, even if you try and fail, it says nothing about who you are as a person. Every player I talk to that's scared to perform in the game, their mind is on what other minds are thinking. They're concerned about what people in social media are going to say, what their friends are going to say, what their girlfriend's going to say, that their coach isn't going to like them. And most importantly, they're very concerned about what their future self will think about them. So if you go out there and try and you fail, you know, like, what's that say about you? Well, it shouldn't say anything other than you need to keep working hard to get better if you go out, try to score, and you can't do it. So maybe you're scared of failing because that would say something about you. You know, whenever I launch a new product, if it fails or doesn't get sales, there's a tendency to say, gosh, maybe there's something wrong with me. But as we always talk about, rare people, successful people separate those things. That there's my behavior and then there's who I am. You're still a good person, you're still a kind person, you're still an honest person. What you do with a round ball and an iron hoop says nothing about you. And if you separate those two, it frees you because it's still just a game. So you take it very seriously because you're devoted to it, but at the same time, it's only a game, and if you mess up, and it's not that big of a deal. I hope that helps. On my personal site, I'm making a program right now about how to deal with fear and how to have confidence. Those two things specifically. So you can check that out if you want to visit my personal site. Thanks for the question. Next question. This is from, I believe, Stressful Champ is the name. Stressful Champ. Dear Basketball Brain, your program is amazing. It has helped me on every aspect of my game. But one question that's been lingering in my head is if I put in the work and I shoot 250 to 500 shots daily, why is it that I'm not as consistent as I feel I could be? And it can't be my form because my elbow's in and everything is aligned, so what could it be? Well, the whole point of Basketball Brain is that when all things are equal, your physical talent, your skill talent, if that's all equal, then you have to look to your mind. If everything's going well in every other part of your game and you're not performing the way you want to perform, then we have to deal with your psychology. And I would assume, well, I'm looking 250 to 500 shots daily. I would make sure you're getting closer to 500 shots. 250 shots a day, you can get 100 shots up in about, you can get about 100 shots up in 10 minutes if you're going hard, 10, 15 minutes. So you're looking at 30 to 40, if you're doing 250 shots a day, that's not enough. That would be number one. I think you need to be closer to 500 to 750 shots a day. You also need to make sure that you go from one stage to the next. So you can do it when you're alone practicing. You shoot well when you're alone. And then take it to the next step, which is pickup games. Make sure you can do it in highly intense pickup games. And then do it in scrimmages. And then you have to take it to competition. So the way you develop confidence, it's not just all interior. You got to make sure you have real-world success that starts to back up this confidence. A lot of consistency has to do with the fact that you're going into the game with the same mindset every time. And number two, that you have prior success to build upon. That you start to feel and expect consistency because you've been consistent in those private shooting sessions, in pickup games, in scrimmages, and in practice. So my suggestion is keep doing the mental swishes. Make sure that when you're in the game, ironically, that you not only are you thinking the right thoughts, but that you get into the present moment. In the program, we have the master mantra. And the master mantra is really a meditation. It's It's mindfulness, if you will, and it allows you to let go of certain thoughts and just drift into the present moment. And it goes, there's no past, there's no future, there's no outcome, there's no results. Okay, so no past means it doesn't matter how many good games you had before. No future, it doesn't matter what you're playing next week. No outcome means you don't care if the shot goes in or out. And no results, it means that you don't care if you made or missed your last shot. I'm sorry for the traffic in the background. It's the only place I could find to record. But that's the point, is you drift into the center moment. And in that moment, you're just free to perform. When you go out to shoot by yourself, on the court, what are you thinking about? Nothing. And you just kind of get in that groove and you're just going out there to shoot. Gilbert Arenas said about Kobe Bryant at one time, why is he so good? And he said, because he shoots like he's shooting in practice, like nobody's there, like nobody's on you. So that would be the other thing, is make sure you get into a state where you're in that present moment. Make sure you're visualizing, and also make sure you're doing the breathe, stretch, shake, let it go drill before the game to calm down your physiology. Make sure you're at a 7.5. Everything that's in the program, if you keep doing that, sometimes there's a little bit of lag time. So you're doing the drills and you're not seeing the results. Just keep doing the drills. If you're doing the right thing, it's eventually going to catch up and you're going to get into a flow and get into consistency. Thanks for the question. This is from Francesc. Hey, this is Francesc. I'm using the program and definitely see my jump shot getting better. I'm a really good shooter, but once I used the lock arc swish, I was super concentrated. I was going to ask, are there any specific drills to get in the zone? I've been doing a lot of research on it, and it is fascinating. I just need some guidelines on how to allow myself to slip into the zone. He says, I also live in New York. You can see some of my game highlights on YouTube. Awesome. I'm going to check you out, and I'm going to look at you on Instagram. If you want me to give you a shout, I don't want to put your information out, but if you want other listeners to check you out, I can put your stuff up here. Just let me know, because you have an Instagram handle and you have YouTube videos. If you want other guys on this channel to see, let me know. I can do it. Okay, so how do you get in the zone more frequently? Well, it's kind of what I said last time. You have to slip into the present moment. I say there's two zones. The first zone is one you can guarantee. You can get into the right tempo playing at a 7.5 on offense. You can make sure you're thinking the right things, like I'm always in the zone, I'm always on fire. That's sort of a mantra, the way monks meditate on one thing over and over again. It's called japa in meditation, where you say maybe the name of God over and go God, God, God. And your mind, from saying one thing, gets into a silent presence, a silent moment. So that's really the key. How do you slip from that, where you're thinking, that zone 1, the right thoughts, into zone 2, which is not thinking? How do you make that transition? The thing is, you can't force it. All my study, all my activity in psychology and any form of mental training is that you can't force it. You have to finesse it. You have to become that which allows the zone to come forth. And it just means you go into the game and you let go of any preconceived notions or expectations about how the game's going to play out, and you allow the moment, as Jordan said, to become the moment. And that's something that can really help bring about the zone. The nightly drills in BasketballBrain, which are mindfulness and meditation, allow you to have thoughts come up and fade away. The thoughts come up and fade away. It doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a big thought, a big feeling, a small feeling. They're all sort of meaningless. So there's this weird tension between thoughts, using your thoughts to be positive, and then in a zone, the thoughts no thoughts mean anything. An anxious thought, a positive thought, they all sort of disappear, and you just enter into the present moment. I know this sounds a little bit nebulous. It's a little foggy, and that's because it's not a science. There's no cause and effect here. You create conditions in which it's possible for the zone to come about. I wish I could help you more, but really that's what it's about. You use zone 1 to get into zone 2, and the more effortlessly you can start to release your thoughts about the future and the past, you're going to slip into the zone more and more. You can't over-try, you can't under-try. It's just that perfect balance. Okay, so I hope that helps. I could do another video on this because that's a question I get a lot, and maybe I need to find a way to articulate it better, and I'll work on that. Okay, so next question. Hello, Mr. Freed. Once again. Well, thanks. I don't see your name. I'm sorry. I must have copied and pasted it wrong. But I'm going to read this. Anyway, sorry, I don't know who's writing this. I made a commitment to work out every single day last year, and I kept up with it. Me and my family decided to plan a trip to Disneyland for the kids. Luckily, they had a basketball court. I became sick by the time we got to Florida, and my parents wouldn't let me go work out in the gym. We came back from a trip a week later, and I started to work out less and less. I'll do it tomorrow turned into I'll do it next week when I get a pump for my ball. Honest to God, it's been 2 months since I've consistently worked out. Even when I do force myself to work out, my energy isn't the same. I've started making excuses in my head as to why I'm not working out. I feel like my work ethic has disappeared, and I've started losing sleep because I feel like I'm failing myself because I know I'm better. This is my dream, and I refuse to give up. Why is this? I feel like I wrote you an email in response to this, but I'm going to answer it anyways because it's such a good question. And I think any of us who are hyper-competitive, any of us who are hyper ambitious and we want to achieve things in life go through phases like this. So number one, don't beat yourself up. Guilt is very useless most of the time. A little bit of anger can be helpful. Like, okay, this is not who I am. I did another video about the difference between change and transformation. And what's happened to you is at one point you were transformed. And now you were transformed into somebody who never missed a workout. That was who you were. Your identity is starting to shift a little bit. And you're starting to feel like somebody who maybe doesn't have what it takes. What I suggest is start to flood your mind with visions and feelings and images of that old person, or of somebody you admire who never misses a workout, who gets back in the gym, and start to feel that you're the type of person that can never make excuses. You'll never make an excuse. When I get a pump for my ball, you say, no, I'm going to get a pump now. And you know what? If I don't have a pump for my, I'm going to do it with a flat ball. Like I'm going to do it without a ball. I'll go out there and dry shoot. Pretend you have a basketball with you. You have to really not force yourself to work out. You have to change yourself, and then it's effortless. It's effortless. When I wake up in the morning, I start writing. Why do I do that? It's not because I'm forcing myself to write. It's because it's who I am, and I can't violate that identity. You have to really own who you are, because who you are is going to get you not just through the trials and tribulations of basketball, it's going to get you through life. The people that you most admire, the reason you admire them, like The Rock. Have you ever seen his Instagram? Guy travels with a gym. He wakes up at 4 a.m. It's not a behavior. It's who he is. And he lets everybody know who he is. And he lets himself know who he is. And that's why he is who he is. That's why he's so successful. So instead of trying to change your behavior, just change who you are. Tomorrow morning or even tonight, when you hear this, immediately, right now, if you're listening, stop the audio. You don't have to listen to the rest. Go and work out. That's my challenge to you. Go and work out. And as you do it, start telling yourself, I'm the type of person who, when I get an idea, I take action immediately. And start to feel what it feels like to be that type of person. Not the behavior, that type of person. I hope that helps. Okay. So this is from Duncan. I sent you an email a while back about having bad reaction time. So I've been visualizing picking up loose balls and getting steals since then, and it's been working. I ran through the 15-day program a second time at the end of the season, and the results were crazy. I had 45 points. Wow. 6 in the last minute to beat out our rival by 1 point. I got fouled shooting a 3 with 2 seconds left, and I hit all 3 to put us up by 1. Then I stole the inbounds pass at the end to seal the deal. I also blocked 4 fast break layups. LeBron James. This program works. Keep up the good work. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys the truth. My assistant copies and pastes these emails into a Google Docs spreadsheet. So I am reading them completely for the first time. I've never seen this email, so I swear to you, I had no idea. She puts every email, I don't even think she reads them. She's just copying. If she sees that it's not like, how do I access my membership email? She copy and paste and put it in here. Well, you know what, man? I'll tell you what. Mental training is the only reason I ever had any success in the game of basketball. Any whatsoever. And I really mean that. It is the reason that I was, all district, all region, district player of the year in high school. It was the reason that I got any college letters, anything like that, was because of mental training. I put in the physical work, but if it had been physical work by itself, it wouldn't have got me anywhere close to where I was in basketball. And more than that, it changed my life. It gave me a career. You know, it's what I do, and not just, again, with basketball, but with anything, with business. I use a lot of the same tactics, but there's psychology and the human mind and human feelings. Human feelings that's where I really am interested, how feelings work. It's changed my whole life, and I think you're learning something about yourself through basketball that's going to take you a long way. But even if you make it to a professional level, by the time you're 33, 34, basketball's done. Now, you might go into coaching, but your playing days are pretty much over. I mean, maybe you go to 37, maybe you're Ginobili, but you still have 40 years of your life left, and the skills you're learning in this program will help you throughout your life. The other thing I'll say is, as you go through this, if you trust me, if you like what I do, definitely check out my other stuff, because, you know, if you go through a bad breakup or something, I got something on my website going up for that. If you have any sort of anxiety, things like that, I'm putting all of that stuff. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to learn how to deal with your emotions on a deeper level, you can check out my other site. But yeah, whatever you do in life, mental training is going to really help you. Okay, this is going to be the last one for today. I have a ton more here. There's a lot of responses. I'm going to do another one in a few days. So this is from Booba, Bouba. Okay, I just watched the animation in the member area. My model is Kawhi, and I wanted to know for the routine part, how do you find info on Kawhi? Any idea? He's a pretty quiet player. Thanks for your help. Well, Kawhi's going through a tough time right now with his injury. Him and the Spurs seem to be having a little bit of conflict. I sort of answered this on the last video, but it bears repeating. So getting to Kawhi is going to be hard, obviously. However, Kawhi played college basketball with a lot of guys who didn't play in the NBA, who didn't play overseas, who are done playing now. There's probably an assistant coach where Kawhi played college basketball. There might be an assistant coach on the Spurs who has like 20 Twitter followers. Reach out to that person and say, hey, can you tell me what Kawhi does? You don't have to go directly to the source. Just try to find people around him who aren't famous and say, hey, I'm a young basketball player. What does Kawhi do every day? You know, how many shots does he shoot? What's his workout schedule like? Does he have a specific diet? He's my favorite player. I really want to use him as a blueprint. You'll be surprised at the number of responses you get from people. Here's the last thing I'll say. If you don't get a response right away, keep trying. Keep going after people. Don't be one of those people who stops after just a few attempts. You have to keep trying. Okay, so I probably have another 20 emails to go through, but this is getting kind of long, so I'm going to start breaking these up. I'm going to try to do another one in a few days. I'm going to Seoul, South Korea. I'm trying to get BasketballBrain, Boingvert, my other companies out here. You know, we're getting everything translated into Mandarin and Korean and all of that, so you know, we can get it, you know, how big basketball is out here. It's kind of a no-brainer for business to move everything out here. But if you have any more questions, email us. I'll get to them. I know some of these emails are sort of old, but as I promised, I'll get to your stuff. Check out basketballbrain.com if you want the full program. Thanks so much, guys. Follow me on Instagram if you want to follow me personally. I'm going to start posting more. It's instagram.com/DylanFried. I'll put a link there. You can also check out instagram.com/basketballbrain. Like and subscribe if you're into mental training. And if you're not into mental training, get into mental training. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.